Tonight, JLP wins its second consecutive term in government over the People's National Party. Still tonight, PNP now in the process of finding a new leader as Dr. Peter Phillips steps down. And Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton announces community transmission of COVID-19. The Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party has won its second consecutive term in government, securing a unanimous win over the People's National Party, led by Dr. Peter Phillips. The Jamaica Labour Party secured 49 seats, while the People's National Party won the remaining 14 seats, following the preliminary counting of ballots in all 63 constituencies yesterday. Now, in his acceptance speech from the JLP's Belmont Road headquarters in Kingston, Mr. Holness said he was humbled by the victory, which he says was for the people of Jamaica.
The victor is the people of Jamaica. You came out in your hundreds of thousands and you participated in the solemn process of democracy. You voted. You expressed yourself through the ballot. There are many Jamaicans who did not participate. As I stand here tonight, I am obviously happy to have won, but I want to assure all of you that I do carry this burden with great consideration of the expectations of not just those who elected us, but those who are looking on us for future decision as to whether or not they will participate in the process. And I want to say to those persons who didn't participate this time that we, as a new government with a mandate that is indisputable, that we will conduct ourselves in a way that will make you proud as well and make you want to participate the next time around.
Mr. Holness further stated that he will not stand for corruption in his government, while adding that the party that presented the better manifesto won.
With such a large mandate, it brings a whole new dynamic as to how we manage government. In our last government, the narrative of corruption dogged us, and it is not something that we can hide away from. And I want to be clear, because there are many persons who will now be assuming state authority, who may not have the understanding as to how that authority should be used. They will know clearly that this government does not stand for corruption. We have, as a country, managed to come to consensus on fiscal matters, on monetary policy. There is an evolving consensus on crime and violence, national security. We have a consensus developing around growth policy. But there must now be a clear consensus, strong position on anti-corruption.
Still making news tonight, the People's National Party is now in the process of finding a new leader, with Dr. Peter Phillips's announcement that he will be stepping down earlier today. More on this story with Killeen May.
President of the People's National Party PNP, Dr. Peter Phillips, at a press conference earlier today, relinquished his role as president of the party. This follows the party's losing of the 18th general election yesterday against JLP's Andrew Holness.
As in all undertakings such as this, the ultimate responsibility must rest with the leader of the party. Accordingly, I consider it my duty to demit office as president of the party, and I have written to the chairman of the People's National Party to ask that the National Executive Council and the executive of the party make the necessary arrangements as soon as is practicable to elect a new leader of the party. I would like to thank all those who voted yesterday for the People's National Party. I would also like to thank all those who worked on the campaign. Many of them, indeed all of them, went way beyond the call of duty to support the People's National Party's efforts in the field. I was in touch with the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party last night at approximately 8 o'clock to offer, on my own behalf and on behalf of the party, our congratulations to him and his party.
He went on to express gratitude for serving the country and gave assurance that until a new president of the party is selected, he will continue to serve as the party president.
The party has many lessons to learn from the experience. I expect that the executive will shortly establish a review committee to analyze the causes of the defeat and to chart a path for rebuilding. I'd like to say in closing that I have had, over these past 4 decades, a tremendous opportunity to serve my country and my party in giving public service. And I relish this and certainly will do all I can to ensure a smooth transition of the leadership of the party and a swift rebuilding of the People's National Party so that it can continue to fulfill its historic mission on behalf of the people of Jamaica. I intend, until a new leader is elected, to exercise all the responsibilities that attach to the office of President of the People's National Party, which includes Leader of the Opposition.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Colleen May.
In the meantime, major upsets were seen for the People's National Party as Peter Bunting lost his seat to newcomer, the JLP's Rodamoy Crawford in central Manchester. Ian Hales in Western Hanover, who was up against the JLP's Tamika Davis, lost after years of the PNP winning that seat. We visited the constituencies and spoke with their supporters, and this is what they had to say prior to the results being announced yesterday.
We are now in Western Hanover, where spirits are high, as several persons have come out to show their support for incumbent Member of Parliament, Mr. Ian Hales, as well as his opponent, Ms. Tamika Davis.
Confident as always. 1,000,000%, because we always see the sleeper jump up, jump up, jump up. But at the end of the day, we always come out victorious. Yes. Talk is cheap, numbers count. I protect myself and I come out for vote because my party must win.
Well, I am 100% confident because I know Tamika go do her thing. Yeah, that's why I vote for her. Because we want better, we need better. Ian is in a power a long time and we can't see no changes. We need a better road in Mount Pleasant and the school needs to develop.
Now, following the announcement last night that Ms. Davis won the seat, supporters took to the streets to celebrate with their newly elected Member of Parliament. We spoke with Ms. Davis, who had this to say.
Western Hanover, first, I want to say thanks to God Almighty for giving us this victory. Without Him, it would not be possible. Secondly, I want to thank all of you, every single one of you. Thank you so much for your love and your support. And I want to tell you this, that your confidence in me is a good thing. It is not misplaced. Western Hanover, we did it. We have broken the 31-year stranglehold on our parish. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of building and rebuilding. So liberate!
Now, another seat that went over to the JLP is Central Kingston, where Imani Duncan Price of the PNP lost to Donovan Williams. Our team was also in the area, where both candidates expressed confidence in their party winning.
We're here at the Holy Family primary school in the constituency of Kingston Central. Now, when our news team arrived here at approximately 3:30, there was not much activity. However, we heard that residents were out here in their numbers earlier this morning. We also observed where a number of elderly persons were being dropped off and picked up here at the Holy Family Primary School. We spoke to a voter who shared his experience voting. He also told us what he wants to see in his constituency after the general election.
Well, I would just like him to just be like, to be like the first person to run around here. So I just like for him to say, oh, see the changes, and that's that we all are hoping for, nothing else. We all want the changes in life. So 2020, we could see, because there are a lot of destruction come, and now we can see if this one is going to be the right one.
To the world.
All right, Ms. Stewart, how was the voting process for you today?
Excellent for me because I make sure I go past 7 o'clock. So I know I can check corona.
Why Imani Duncan Price?
Why? And I really she make me vote, I just vote because me a PMP. Me not a PMP, me a comrade.
How was the voting process today?
Well, it wasn't bad at all because we started at 7 exact, down by the First Missionary Church and PRA, which is a stronghold of the People's National Party, Imani Duncan. But it was so good to see a mixture of crowd. The first, it's a historical thing, to see a gentleman from the Jamaica Labour Party, Donovan Impact Williams, who have done so much for the constituency. Crowd turned out in numbers, and it was good. All enjoyed themselves. No, nothing threatening, but we made the PMP trembling their knees this morning.
So how confident are you that Donovan Williams will take the Kingston Central constituency seat?
Okay, I'm confident that Donovan will win because, as what I said before, it's a history of seeing in this dieted stronghold of Tel Aviv. You ever hear about Tel Aviv where always in orange? There's a mixture of green and the people come out there in their numbers. And in Southside, if we get out all our numbers, we know there's a victory for us. We can do it. The last election, we lose by only 1,200 votes, the Jamaica Labour Party. And we sure we capture those votes already, especially with the young people. Because with the young people, we get 2,300 young people added to the list. And most of the young people saying, bro God, so it's Donovan votes.
Why Imani Duncan Price? Why are you voting for Imani Duncan Price?
Because she's a nice lady and we feel she will set you up in this constituency. She's late to come here and we expect the best of her.
So what are some of the things that you know that she will get done in the constituency?
Well, she will get to water, road and drain and such things. Look after the school and all them things there.
So how confident are you that PMP will win the general election?
I'm not confident, but I have a strong belief that we have all the chance in the win.
So I see you clad in green. How confident are you that Donovan Williams will take it?
Very confident, very. And even if Donovan no win, bro God have to win. Trust me. But me feel like if Donovan no win, is the other party gonna win by a small amount, maybe about 3.
Reporting from Mello TV News, I'm Kadisha Clark.
Now, over in St. Catherine Northwestern, both candidates were fairly confident in their campaigns. We caught up with newly elected Newton Amos and opposition Hugh Graham hours before the results. Here's what they had to say. We're joined by Mr. Newton Amos, representing the Jamaica Labour Party. Mr. Amos, welcome to Mello TV.
Thank you.
How confident are you about victory in the Northwest St. Catherine constituency?
Well, I am quite confident that at the end of the poll, the Jamaica Labour Party will have a new seat in Northwest St. Catherine. I premise that on the basis that we have done a lot of work with the people over the past couple of years. The people have responded well. We have been able to attend to most of their needs as it relates to basic physical and other infrastructure, mainly because of water and roads and lighting and so on. And because of the response that we have got coming out of those, I'm pretty confident that the people will show their appreciation in making this seat a seat of the Jamaica Labour Party.
We are at the Northwest St. Catherine constituency office of the People's National Party, and we're joined by Mr. Hugo Graham. Mr. Graham, welcome to Mello TV.
Mello TV, it's good to have you.
How confident are you about being returned to this seat today?
Supremely confident. The energies are high, the work has gone in. If you talk about basic schools, you talk about primary school classes, you talk about community centers. So the work has gone in. So the people are just responding with the same love that I give to them. They're just giving me back the same love.
In news from the capital, tensions rose in sections of Southside Kingston Central last night following an armed attack on a group of persons sitting near the intersection of Law Street and Foster Lane. Now, the attack happened shortly after 5 p.m. yesterday. Among the injured was Jamaican international footballer Jermaine Teddy Johnson, whom residents claim was shot in the back and abdomen. Other victims included a man known only as Fidel and a woman whose identity remains unknown. All three were taken to the hospital in serious but stable condition. Residents there believe the shooting is linked to the close political battle that took place yesterday between the Jamaica Labour Party's Donovan Williams, who beat the People's National Party's Imani Duncan Price by almost 500 votes. The police, however, indicated the shooting was linked to a simmering gang feud in the area. In other news tonight, the police captured two wanted men, one in St. Mary and the other in St. Andrew, as they conducted their duties during the election held yesterday. Now, one man who is wanted by the St. Andrew Central Police in relation to an April 2019 murder was arrested when he turned up to vote in August Town. Meanwhile, police officers attached to the St. Mary Proactive Investigation Unit arrested a man wanted for two murders in St. Anne and St. Mary. The man was held in Lewis Store in the parish. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Back in the capital, police officers from the St. Andrew North Division arrested a man for illegal possession of firearm and ammunition during a joint operation in Grants Pen, Kingston 8 yesterday. Now, reports from the Constant Spring Police coming into our news center are that at about 2 p.m., lawmen were conducting a joint operation in the area when the man was seen acting in a manner that aroused their suspicions. He was accosted, searched, and a Taurus pistol with a magazine containing 9 9mm rounds of ammunition was found in a bag he had in his possession. He was subsequently arrested. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigations. Still making Mello TV news tonight, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton announced that Jamaica is declaring community transmission of the SARS-CoV-2 virus COVID-19. Now, Dr. Tufton, during a press conference earlier today, says in making this declaration, the ministry is alerting the public that the transmission of the virus can no longer be easily traced from one member of the population to the other, and that the concern for the transmission of COVID-19 is now island-wide.
We are now at the stage, having gone through that phase, and in keeping with that modeling that was presented, where with community transmission, you're going to see more cases, and the approach to managing those cases will have to change. And we did suggest, based on the epidemiology study and modeling, that we would see as much as 1.5 million Jamaicans contracting COVID over a 12-month period, that the vast majority would not be affected in any significant way. And that modeling had gone all the way down to how many we anticipate would seek medical care, how many would be hospitalized, and how many would be requiring intensive care, a ventilator. It is out of that modeling that we arranged a plan and a budget to support the build-out. And so we are seeing the process taking its course. And so I urge the population to appreciate that this is a process, and we will continue to manage with the help and the participation of the public and all other stakeholders until we can overcome the most immediate threat.
Dr. Tufton further announced that new curfew hours, adjustments to the restrictions of work-at-home orders, and public gatherings will be further addressed by the re-elected Prime Minister Andrew Holness come Monday.
Early discussions with the Prime Minister and based on the recommendations of the health team will see measures introduced as early as Monday of this week. That would be Monday, September 7th, 2020. And some of these new measures will include an increase in curfew restrictions, maybe between 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. or between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. And these restrictions would apply across the country, across the board, island-wide. An increase in the stay-at-home orders for the elderly, re-emphasis on the work-from-home orders for the private and public sector. So encouraging, again, at least for a period, the work-from-home orders where those can be applied, and further tightening on restrictions of public gatherings. As you know, there is now in the order a 20-person limit, and there is the likelihood that that limit could be further restricted. In addition to that, we will re-emphasize the issues around funerals and other such gatherings, which we have determined, based on the contact tracing and the information we have, is a source of spread.
Meanwhile, Chief Medical Officer of Jamaica, Jacqueline Bisaser McKenzie, gave a breakdown of the total confirmed cases as it figures yesterday.
This was our situation as of yesterday evening, where we had 2,896 confirmed cases, of which 459 were imported, 236 related to workplace cluster in the past, now at 242 cases of local transmission, not epidemiologically linked. We have 1,300 cases under investigation and 659 persons that were identified as contacts of a confirmed case. If we look at the parish distribution yesterday, we see that we have quite a number of parishes that are now being affected with new cases daily, and this has been our experience over the last week. While at the start of the month of August, we were seeing that the new cases were coming particularly from 4 parishes: Kingston and St. Andrews, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, and Clarendon. We have seen that by the end of the first and certainly into the second week of August, that we are now seeing cases from all across the island.
Meanwhile, Scotiabank says 3 employees attached to its head office in Kingston and the Old Harbour branch have tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 2 days. Now, in a statement released yesterday, Scotiabank said the affected staff members were sent home in mid-August to self-quarantine as soon as they advised they were experiencing flu-like symptoms. Now, as per the company's internal policies, they took those actions. The respective departments also underwent deep cleaning and sanitization at that time. Scotiabank said no further action is currently required as none of the employees have been back to work in the last 2 weeks. The financial institution is also reminding clients to utilize its online banking platform and mobile app. In other news, The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCO, says their service offices at East Parade and Ruthven Road in the corporate area have been closed until further notice, as an employee has tested positive for COVID-19. Both offices will be deep cleaned and sanitized before they are reopened. In the meantime, the power company says it encourages customers to use their online channels and 24-hour customer care center to contact them. And those were the stories making news. I'll return with a recap. We'll now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.